Look at figures from the exchange, but the market is ending the week in green. That's what we see at the end of this week, and it's not looking. It's looking pretty mixed, but we'll keep staying with all of these figures. But let's take you outside our shores now to the global space, where we have the global market stocks are set to end the week lower as looming U.S. data and Japan's weekend election curb the rally, knocked of course by the close run race from the White House and expectations that the Federal Reserves will resist rapid rate courses. But MSCI's broadest World Equities Index was steady but heading for a 1.2% slide on the week, its first weekly loss of the month, while European shares also started the day 0.2% lower. U.S. Treasury deal buyers, but were still heading for a sixth straight losing week. Futures market tipped Wall Street S&P 500 for lackluster trading later in the day, and the dollar dropped. Japan's Nikkei dropped 0.7%. The yuan was steady at 151.87 per dollar after Japanese officials warned speculators of betting against the currency, which has weakened rapidly. Elsewhere in Asia, Hong Kong Hang Seng rose 0.5%, and mainland Chinese shares added 0.7%. Tokyo's government data shows core consumer prices in densely populated 23 wards rose 1.8% in October 2024 from a year earlier, as subsidies held down energy prices. According to the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications, the core consumer price index, which excludes volatile fresh food prices, stands at 107.9 against the 2020 base of 100, despite the index rising for 38 months in a row. Its growth fell below 2% for the first time in 5 months. Prices of food, excluding fresh foods, climbed 3.8% year-on-year, reflecting a 62.3% surge in rice prices. Tokyo CPI is considered a leading indicator of nationwide inflation, which will be released on November 22nd, 2024. The European Union Commission and China have agreed to hold further technical negotiations soon on possible alternatives to tariff on China-built electric vehicles, although significant gap remains. The EU is set to impose additional tariffs of up to 35.3% next week on electric vehicles, but in China at the conclusion of its anti-subsidy investigation, but says talks can continue after then. The two sides are looking at possible minimum price commitments from Chinese producers or investments in Europe as an alternative to tariffs. The European Commission, which oversees trade policy for the 27-nation European Union, have already held 8 rounds of technical negotiations with Chinese counterparts and said there were significant remaining gaps. China urged the EU 2 weeks ago not to conduct separate negotiations with companies, warning that this would shake the foundation of negotiations. Let's go to oil prices now as we wrap up the show for today. Crude oil prices are mixed with what we've seen, and the strategic mix with West Texas Intermediate. Now, the war in the Middle East and the restart in Gaza ceasefire talks in the coming days kept traders on the edge. A U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude sells for $70.27 with an upsurge of 0.1%. Brent also experienced an upward margin of 0.07% to sell for $74.43 per barrel. Bonnie Light sells for $78.62 with a downward review 2.84%, and the OPEC basket dealers are offering $74.47 with an upward price margin of 1.35%. Well, that's our show for today and for the week. Thank you so much for being a part of it. On behalf of the entire production crew, we'll see you on Monday. Get busy, always make the cash. I'll see ya.